ready?
Somewhat. My computer is doing that spinny thing or was doing that spinny thing, so it's taking me a little longer to get set up, but it's finally up. So I should be ready imminently, but
Okay.
don't delay.
Okay.
Sure, Lewis, we were live.
Wonderful. Thank you, Heather. Good morning and welcome to the Friday, April 10th. My goodness. April 10th, 2026 meeting of the Baltimore City House Delegation. Glad to have you with us. This is going to be a work session where we discuss and review and make decisions about bills that have already been heard in this delegation. This is not a bill hearing. This is a work session for us today as we move into the final few days of session. We're working as efficiently as we can. I'd also like to thank Council Matt Bennett for being with us here, the House Delegation Council, and our Delegation Director, Heather Bertling, who keeps us going. With that, we'll get started. The first order of business is approval of meeting minutes. We weren't able to approve one set of meeting minutes, so we've got two sets of meeting minutes to approve. March 27th meeting minutes, which have been sent to you. Is there any discussion on the March 27th meeting minutes? Any changes? Okay, I'll take a motion on the March 27th minutes.
Move to
Approve.
to it.
Okay, thank you. The March 27th meeting minutes have been approved. Thank you.
Do we need to vote? Sorry, just
Oh, we need to vote. All those in favor say aye.
aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. The March 27th meeting minutes are approved. In my zeal to be efficient, by the way, we have to be on the floor at 10 a.m. So if I rush, slow me down. Thank you. On to the April 1st meeting minutes. Any discussion on the April 1st meeting minutes? Changes? Okay, I'll take a hearing none. I'll take a motion to approve the April 1st meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Okay, the April 1st meeting minutes have been moved. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any discussion? Any opposed? Hearing none, the April 1st meeting minutes are approved. Great, we can move on to the bills that we're going to review today in the delegation. I'm going to go in reverse order of our agenda. We're going to start with Senate, the cross file of House Bill 918, and the cross file is Senate Bill 279. Senator Hayes is the sponsor. Baltimore City Cigarettes, Other Tobacco Products, and Electronic Smoking Devices Local Laws Authorization. So the House bill has been heard in this delegation and moved, and now the Senate bills come over with some amendments. Delegate Young, would you be so kind and walk us through the amendments and explain to the delegation why this bill is important and what it will do?
Yes, Chair Lewis. And Chair, as I mentioned earlier, I'm getting my computer up. Would it be all right if council could share the amendments on the screen?
Sure. Thank you. I'm not sure whether it would be Heather or council. Heather, do you have whichever
Yes,
has those
I can
handy?
share. It'll be easier for me to do it.
That would be
Thank you.
great. Thank you.
So, colleagues, I'm just going to quickly walk you through the reprint. There's two pieces of literature that you all received. The first is the reprint that is my understanding that passed through. Oh, I'm looking for actually
I think
the
we need to see
reprint.
the Senate bill.
That's correct.
Heather. That's the House bill. So we need the Senate cross file. That would be Senate Bill 279 reprint.
Alrighty. Just give me one moment to pull those up. I have them right here.
Okay. Thank you.
So, colleagues, again, I'm going to just walk you through that reprint, and then there is an additional amendment that I'm aware of should be joining that bill on the floor. I also received word that there may be other amendments, but I don't have those other amendments. So what I've asked the chair is to just go over what we have, and if we have to come back, then we'll do that. But as you all know, things are fluid at this time of session, and I just appreciate for everyone's patience on this legislation and on this issue. So we have Senate Bill 279, which again is the cross file for House Bill 918. And Heather, if you could just scroll down, the first thing you'll see as you scroll through the first page and into the second page is that the bill in its entirety has been stricken. But we haven't changed the topic, to be very clear. The
Keep going,
original
Heather,
bill.
please.
Yeah. The original bill essentially gave the city council blanket authority, pretty broad authority. So what we do here is we still give authority to the city, but in a more structured way. And so there are a few pieces of language. You can pause right there. You can scroll up just a little bit. There's a few pieces of language that I'm going to point out. The first piece of language is right there. Pause right there at 16-102, which provides for the city's health department to be able to enforce the title. And you're going to see this language a few different times where they can just walk in and inspect the premises. And then they can also have the ability to reprimand, suspend, or revoke the license or for a violation. We'll scroll down to the bottom of that page. And this is an important piece, which says that for an initial or renewal of the licenses for the shops, that the applicant must provide the clerk a licensure authorization issued in the next section. And so we can go down to the next page, and at the top of the next page, you'll see this next section, which essentially says that they've got to get authorization for Baltimore City only. Licensure has to be done through the city council and the mayor. It provides for the city council and the mayor to establish what that process would look like as well, and some additional requirements for compliance with to attain that license. It also has a little bit of language with regard to if the license is denied, what an individual can do. Moving down to the middle of the page, again, more language at number 3, where health department can reprimand, suspend, revoke the license. Scrolling down to the bottom of that page, again, these are just different sections of the law pertaining to tobacco where we're adding this language that says health department may inspect and they can revoke the license. Scrolling down to the next page, again, same language at the top. And as you scroll down to the bottom to number 4, same language about having to get that city council and mayoral approval. And when you scroll down to the final page, bold again, same language that provides for the mayor and city council approval. Lastly, you have this uncodified language that says that there will be no licenses that will be, it's basically a moratorium for a year that starts from the enactment of this legislation through October 1st, 2027, that gives the city council and mayor the time to be able to build out these structures and that approval process for that year. And those are the original amendments that came out of committee. Heather, if you could pull up the last piece that I also sent, which is a floor amendment that'll come from Senator McCray. That amendment essentially is the city's request that we don't limit the officers that can do the inspections. They have other officers, other folks who do inspections of facilities. So it just expands the scope of the people who can do those inspections.
Thank you.
Delegate Young, is this the SB or the HB copy of the amendment you want me to pull up?
The SB copy.
Alrighty. Sharing it now.
Yeah, and so again, this one again just expands the scope of who can do that enforcement for the city, and that was at the request of the city. Chair Lewis, I did mention to you yesterday that this version impacted or provided for the ability to amend the fees. I was incorrect in that. I spoke to you right after I got it, so I just want to clarify that that is not in these amendments, but that is my understanding that that may be one of those amendments that they're still working on.
Okay. Thank you, Delegate Hayes. So, Delegate Hayes, if I may just ask you one question, could you, in one sentence, state the intent of this bill so that everybody remembers why this is important, why it needs our attention. What is the intent of this legislation?
Surely, as you all know, we've been, I think, all getting a lot of concerns pertaining to liquor stores, excuse me, not liquor stores, tobacco stores in our districts. Where I've coined the term that they seem like the new liquor stores, at least in the 45th district, with the loitering, with illegal cannabis sales, and just not being great neighbors. There are 1,400 of them now in our city that have proliferated in a significant way over the last 2 years, and so this is about right sizing that industry and trying to be responsive to, I think, what we've all heard from our residents is, essentially these stores are popping up everywhere, but they haven't necessarily been in alignment with the vision for our neighborhoods that folks want to see.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And we'll go now to questions. Delegate Klippinger? Mr. Pro
Morning. Thank you. Good morning. I think that Senator Hayes' staffer is here to talk about this bill. It's a bill
Okay.
hearing on, and with no offense to Delegate Young, and he's done just fine. I'm just pointing out, I do believe that Mr. Reith is here from Senator Hayes' office in part, I think, to talk about this bill. But my question, I guess, will go to Delegate Young. Who are the additional enforcement people who the city would use? Are they city employees or somebody else?
My understanding is city employees. I don't see Nina Themelis on the call to give further clarification of that question.
We can get an answer to that. Did you have a thought, a suggestion, guidance? What's your concern?
I guess my question is when we're enforcing, I mean, if the city is going to be enforcing a law, regulation, it should be enforced by, I just presume that it's going to be a city employee. But I remembered in the amendment that I saw from Senator McCray that I think was approved last night, that there was money that was being allocated to another group and maybe I'm wrong, but the money that was being allocated to the Family League of Baltimore City. I don't know if they would be doing that or not. And I'm also again throwing out that Mr. Reith is sitting there, so maybe he has the answer. Again, with no offense to Delegate Young, but that's in the amendment that Senator McCray added last night.
Sorry, was that you, Delegate Young?
Yes, it was.
Please go ahead.
Mr. Pro Tem, first I want to just lift up, Nina just texted me and asked if she could just be added. She's waiting in the waiting room.
Okay.
Heather, you can allow Ms. Themelis into the Zoom room to answer the questions about this bill.
She did text me that these words in the city code, we have specific people designated as code enforcement officers, and thus the answer would be that they would be city employees, is what she did text me.
Okay, great.
I was just looking for the connection to the Family League, and again, this was a late approved amendment last night, I think. So if you may not have the answer to that yet, and that's fine. I just was wondering how they were connected.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Well, and I guess Delegate Klippinger, since there's still Senate amendments moving, we should expect to get more clarity on that question. Looking for Ms. Themelis. Ms. Themelis, can you unmute yourself and help us understand the city's expectation for code enforcement on this tobacco bill?
Sure. Good morning, Madam Chair. Good morning, members of the delegation. So the bill as initially amended was specific to the tobacco enforcement officers within the health department. The scope of their work is typically around underage sales and enforcing that part of the tobacco law. We had been in conversation with the Senate sponsor about the amendments that were being proposed. And we just asked to expand the language to be a general code enforcement officer, which is a specific type of enforcement officer within Baltimore City, because as we get this authority, if this bill passes, this would likely be a multi-agency effort, given that there are some health code considerations, there are some zoning considerations, and also some touch points with criminal law. So we wanted to have the flexibility to utilize the appropriate entities within the city who are designated as code enforcement officers to be able to enforce, because we do foresee this being a multi-agency effort rather than only living with the health department.
Does that answer your question, Delegate Klippinger, for now, till we see the language? Okay. Thank you very much, Ms. Demolis. All right, now, Delegate Young, you walked us through the Senate version of your bill and the amendments on the Senate version of your bill. And I think it would be ideal for us to take up the amendments here and make decisions on them. So,
Madam Chair, I'm sorry, I
unless there are
can't,
more questions, I'm sorry. Please go ahead. If I don't
I'm
see you,
sorry.
please go ahead. Yes,
That's
yes.
okay.
Michelle.
One quick question. Delegate Young, in adding some of these additional amendments, were the individuals affected shared with these amendments, like certain other stores, not just kind of like these novelty shops, but like the 7-Elevens, the Highs, and those type of stores?
I'm not actually clear on the full process that occurred in the Senate and who things were shared with. And as previously mentioned, we received these amendments just yesterday, so I have not been in those communications as well.
Delegate Boyce, I see Senator Hayes in the room. So we may be able to go straight to the originator sponsor. Senator Hayes, if you can unmute and help answer the questions about
I'm sorry, what was the question?
okay, Delegate. So we're talking about the tobacco bill.
Correct.
And there's some questions. Delegate Boyce was just asking about the process for developing the amendments to the tobacco bill. Was that right, Delegate Boyce?
I was just asking about, I understand there are additional amendments and were beyond the like novelty shops, were the kind of like bigger kind of convenience stores spoken to about this, and then I guess the authority for the mayor and city council that just also came on before. What was it before? Would it be the state? I think I'm just a little confused.
Yeah, so everyone was spoken about it. Not everyone is super happy about it. But I will tell you, we're not the first. Ocean City did it first. Ocean City has a pre-approval license for tobacco shops and down there, whereas they go to the local government first before they go to the clerk's office. Because our current system, all you do, you go to the clerk's office, anybody, you go to the clerk's office with the right amount and you get a license. There's no vetting. There's no consideration for density. There's no consideration whether or not you're next door to a school or across the street from a church. You have the dollar amount for the fee, you go and you get a license. This creates a framework similar to Ocean City, whereas you go to the local health department or whatever the enforcement office is, you get a pre-approval license, and then you take that to the clerk's office to get your license.
Thank you. And other than Ocean City, who else does it this way?
Hopefully Baltimore will have it next.
I hear you. Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate Boyce. Your question answered. Okay. I see Delegate Rosenberg. Please go ahead.
So under this bill, if a community wishes to object to having a licensee locate in its community, how do they do that and who makes the decision?
From the language, it looks like I think the city council and mayor during that moratorium would set up that process, that public process. And therefore, it would be on our local partners to make that decision.
Okay.
So the bill would authorize mayor and city council to develop a pre-approval process. This bill is authorizing for them. Okay. Thank you. Does that help,
Right.
Delegate Rosenberg?
Yes, thank you.
Great.
Yeah.
Any other
The
questions?
other thing, Madam Chair, if you don't mind,
Please go ahead.
Since you invited me to the conversation, I wasn't planning on saying anything this morning, but I will tell you, prior to the Tatus lawsuit with Prince George's County, Baltimore City was already doing this, right? And many counties was already legislating local laws around tobacco in their counties. Because the lawsuit against Prince George's County happened, that's when the court said, unless the state expressly give you authority, you cannot legislate around tobacco. But Baltimore City had been doing this for decades.
Okay. Thank you, Senator. Very good questions, thoughtful questions. Any other questions or discussion on Senate Bill 279, which is a cross-file of House Bill 981?
Senator,
918, yes.
Madam Chair and Senator, so are you expecting more amendments to the bill today or what?
No, you should have the two amendments. The one amendment, which, you know, and I hope you got the explanation, Delegate Clippinger.
Yes.
The one amendment is to make sure that because the city is not just the health department, the city's in the process of standing up this multi-agency kind of enforcement team, making sure it's just not limited to the health department enforcement. And then the other amendment is being offered from the floor from Senator McCray, and you had that explanation. 50% of the revenue would go to the Baltimore Family League, which is our local management board, to distribute to each legislative district based on the proportion of tobacco licenses in each district for children, youth, and family activities.
That's your Family League question, Delegate.
That's the Family League question. All right, got it.
Senator, let me ask actually a question too. To
Go
clarify,
ahead.
we would be also allowing the city council to set a new rate as well. Is that correct?
Absolutely. So that amendment explicitly gives the city.
I'm sorry, I'm multitasking.
Council.
I'm actually on a House Delegate control.
Delegate
Good morning,
Stinnett, can you
everybody.
mute yourself, please?
So this is the great students of Calvin F. Rodwell.
Delegate Stinnett, can you mute yourself? Heather, can you mute Delegate Stinnett? I don't know if you can.
Middle mix.
Thank you. Okay, sorry. Delegate Young, please go ahead.
That was great.
I think the senator was going on.
Oh, sorry. Senator, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I totally lost my train of thought. What was the question?
We were talking about Family League, and then we were.
Oh yes. Oh
about-
yes. Oh, so the Family League, as you all know, is the local management board. Oh, and Delegate Young had asked. This gives the city the ability to set the rate. Explicitly gives the city the ability to set the rate. We didn't want any confusion to be on, okay, can the city set the rate? So yes, it gives the city the ability to set the rate.
So Senator, you're not expecting any more amendments? Is that
Nope,
what you're
no
telling-
more. No
Okay,
more
so
than what's
what's in front of us? Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Thank you. Any other questions or discussion? Okay, so this is a worthy bill. It's been worked on in the House and in the Senate. It's been amended. The bill will hopefully clean up our neighborhoods of the overproliferation of smoke shops. Can we go through the amendments? Should we do that one by one, council? What's the best way? I'm happy for your advice here.
However you'd like to proceed, you could
Okay.
vote in concept on the two amendments that have been described. It's a little bit complicated because the amendments we were sent were committee amendments that went to the bill, and then I believe there's going to be one or two floor amendments coming. So it might be easier just to talk about it in concept and vote it as a package because the floor amendments are a little bit difficult to read in without a reprint.
Okay, thank you for your guidance. So we will vote on each amendment in concept here. Is that what you're saying?
I would vote on what was just described.
Okay, so do we need to describe it again, or is everybody good?
I think to recap, the committee amendments, what is it? It narrows what the city can do, but then there's going to be a floor amendment that's going to allow code enforcement officers instead of just I believe it's specified health department officers to do it. And then there's going to be an additional amendment that will it set the rate and then the Family League's going to get a distribution. Am I describing that correctly?
From 50% of the total revenues will go to the Family League to be
Okay.
distributed proportionally.
Yeah, I believe that may have been one of the floor amendments that was being worked out prior. I may have had earlier information. So I think we can add that in. And if we vote in concept on what the Senate sends over, then we will have that vote taken care of and you guys will be ready to go.
Okay, thank you. So that's the motion to vote in concept on the amendments that have been presented and discussed here today.
Move the amendments.
Second.
Thank you. Amendments have been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any discussion? Any opposed? Okay, the
Would you like me to call a roll?
Yes, would you call a roll, please?
Okay, on Senate Bill 279, with the amendments, Delegate Addison,
Yes.
Delegate Amprey,
Yes.
Delegate Boyce,
Point of order. I
Yeah.
thought we just moved the amendments.
Yeah,
not
we
the
did
full
just move the
bill.
amendments.
Okay, so
Can we
we're
take a
just,
roll call on the amendments?
Oh,
Council?
I'm sorry. I jumped the
Okay.
gun. I was trying
Sorry.
to make sure you guys
Okay.
got to the floor.
Can
We're
I
all in
move
a
the-
hurry. We're all
I'll
in a
move the
hurry.
bill as amended, Madam Chair. I move the
Second.
bill as amended.
second.
Thank you. The bill as amended has been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any discussion?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, on the bill as amended, council?
All right. Sorry about that. Delegate Addison,
Yes.
Delegate Amprey,
Yes.
Delegate Boyce,
Yes.
Delegate Clippinger,
Yeah.
Delegate Conaway,
Yes.
Delegate Edelson,
Yes.
Delegate Embry,
Yes.
Delegate Rosenberg,
Yes.
Delegate Ruff,
Yes.
Delegate Smith,
Yes.
Delegate Stinnett, Delegate Stinnett,
He was
Delegate
with me.
Wells,
Yes.
Delegate Young,
Aye.
Chair Lewis,
Aye.
and the ayes have it, with Delegate Stinnett abstaining.
I think he may come back. He was
Okay.
multitasking at a
It won't-
Veterans Caucus event.
We
Sorry.
can change that if he comes back on. It won't change the vote.
Okay, thank you very much, council. So, so we have, thank you. So we've finished our work with Senate Bill 279 in the cross file of House Bill 918. Thank you, everyone. Now we're going to move to the next bill on our agenda, and that's Senate Bill 554, Baltimore's Board of School Commissioners appointments and compensation. So we've given ourselves adequate time to reflect, review, and develop some amendments for this bill. And I want to thank everyone for taking the time to do our best to develop policy that serve our communities and our city. Let us go through we have two sets of amendments. Let's go through the first amendment, and that amendment was offered by Delegate Smith. And Heather, if you could pull up amendment number 1, Delegate Smith's amendment, for us to review. And this was emailed to all of you, but we're going to pull it up. Makes it a little easier. So thank you. Amendments to Senate Bill 554. Council, are you, let's talk through these amendments. Delegate Smith, would you be so kind and talk us through the amendments that you've offered and bring everybody up to speed?
Sure, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, so these sets of amendments do several things. They restore the community panel to its original composition. Also restores the requirement that the mayor select pre-vetted recommendations from said panel. It also removes Senate confirmation of the nominees. Being that there are no gubernatorial nominees to this panel, there's really no precedent for state confirmation of appointees that are not appointed by the governor, and also gives the recommended compensation that the task force that studied the compensation recommended. which is, I believe, 20,000 for the chair, 18.5 for the vice chair, and 18,000 for the regular participants on the school board, and $18,000 scholarship to the student participant on the panel. And I believe that's most of it. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath.
You're okay. Thank you, Delegate Smith. Heather, can you please scroll down so that everyone can see the contents of the amendment? So the good delegate was just describing the provisions on compensation. You'll see they're near the end. If you scroll a little bit, there we go. So again, these amendments were shared with all of you and you've had time to look them over and think about them. Let's open the floor to discussion on amendment number 1 that's before us.
Madam Chair, I'd move the amendment.
Thank you.
Second. I second it.
Thank you. Amendment number 1's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Madam Chair,
Any-
could we take down the amendment just so we can see
Sure.
numbers?
Thank you, Heather. You can take that down for us. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any discussion? Any opposition? Okay, without hearing none, the ayes have it. Amendment number 1 is adopted. Now, for the second set of amendments, we're going to talk these through and deliberate on them in concept. Okay, now, these conceptual amendments have been shared with all of you in your inboxes, and we're going to go through them. So, there's an issue about transparency and a sense that transparency is a really important ideal that we should continually strive for to expand. And one way to expand transparency in the school board nomination process is to have, with every vacancy on the school board, broad public, announcement of those vacancies. So one way to improve transparency is to require the mayor and the school board to publicize on their public-facing platforms whenever a school board vacancy occurs. That could mean the mayor's website, that could mean the school board's website and their social media platforms and email lists, and however the mayor and the school board communicate with the public. We'd like to propose to require them to do so in an assertive and way. So that's a transparency amendment that we can consider.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I love how thoughtful you are. I think that's a really great idea, so that folks in the community know that there's not only a vacancy, but if those who are interested and qualify could actually apply. So I certainly like the amendment. I will see if there's any discussion, but if there isn't, I'd like to move the amendment.
Thank you, Delegate Boyce. Any discussion?
I will second it. I also think transparency would be terrific.
Great. All
Madam
right.
Chair,
Yes, Delegate.
just to be clear, this is an amendment that would allow for more substantive announcements of vacancies. Okay, not doing all of Amendment 2, just doing that part of the second one that was put forward. Correct?
I'm not sure I understood your question there. Could you repeat that?
I think that the language regarding the additional advertisement and announcement of vacancies was in the second amendment that you had offered, and so that's the language we're kind of taking out to put into the bill, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
You are correct.
Okay, I'm just trying to not be more confused than usual. Thank you.
You're doing a good job. You're a model for the rest of us who strive also to not be confused. Okay, so the transparency amendment has been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? Any opposition? Okay, all those in favor of the transparency amendment, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none. Transparency amendment is adopted. Okay, and then
Madam
yes, please.
Chair, I think I would like to move the bill as amended.
And I'd second that.
Thank you. The bill as amended, which incorporates the transparency amendment. I think that's what we're doing. We're adopting the transparency amendment to the bill, amending it, voting on the bill as amended with the transparency amendment. All those in favor?
I'm
say
sorry,
aye.
and Delegate Smith's bill.
We've already adopted
Amendment.
those amendments.
Right,
We've
but that
already
would be part of the bill as amended with both amendments. Is
That's
Okay.
correct.
that correct, Delegate Boyce? Is that your motion?
That is my motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Council, just so you know, the motion.
Yep,
We're adopting
so
all
we
the-
are voting on Senate Bill 554 with the Delegate Smith amendment and then the additional Delegate Lewis transparency amendment. So it's favorable as amended.
Thank you. All those moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any other discussion? Any opposition? Hearing none. Senate Bill 554 as amended. Let's take a roll call.
Delegate Addison,
No.
Delegate Amprey, is anybody else hearing that?
Did I say yes?
Yes.
Bill's amended, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, Delegate Amprey's a yay. Delegate Boyce,
Yes.
Delegate Clippinger,
Yes.
Delegate Conaway,
Yes.
Delegate Edelson,
Yes.
Delegate Embry.
Yes.
Wait, yes. All right, whatever.
Okay, so Delegate Rosenberg,
Yes.
Delegate Ruff, Delegate Ruff, Delegate Smith.
Sorry. Yes.
Oh, Delegate Ruff's a yes. Delegate Smith,
Yes.
Delegate Stinnett,
Yes.
Delegate Wells.
I apologize. Are we voting on the amendment or the bill? I stepped away
It's
for a second.
the bill as amended by the Delegate Smith amendment plus the Delegate Lewis transparency
Okay.
amendment.
Yes.
Delegate Young
Aye.
and Delegate Lewis, Chair Lewis,
Aye.
and the ayes have it, favorable as amended.
Great. Thank you guys for your hard work. Thank you, Council, for keeping us on track. We have completed the work on our agenda today. Is there any other business? Any announcements? So I'd just like to say that I appreciate all of you for all the extra effort. And while we're all busy juggling 1,000 things, your effort is really appreciated. Thank you for supporting our process. Please be prepared over these last 72 hours to get called off the floor. I think anything can happen. But if we have to reconvene to vote on amendments as things move quickly from the House and Senate, I know you guys will be poised and ready. So with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Okay, I move to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Sorry. Yes. Adjourn. I'm sorry.
Second.
I couldn't push mute quick enough.
All right.